session, I have a request to all the participants. Uh, Please send in your questions to all the present panelists. You mark all your questions to all the panelists. This is how we also know that you have a question to the host also, and host or the presenter also. So you mark all your queries to all panelists. Whenever you send a text message in the two section, you click all panelists. Okay, thank you. Uh, Stage is being handed over to Ms. Amrita Som and Mr. Anurag. Uh, you may start, ma'am.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Am I audible enough?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay. So should I start the session?
Yes, you may start, ma'am.
So good morning, everybody. It was a beautiful session we had in the last session, and we got a lot of useful information from there. So thank you, certain team. So we are here, two person from STQC Kolkata. Myself is Amrita and my colleague Anurag. We are going to show today the demonstration, basically information gathering techniques. So our session is basically divided into two parts. One is small discussion, very brief discussion rather, regarding the information gathering technique and the demonstration purpose, which will be taken over by Anurag. Now, at last we have designed one interactive exercise session also, like quiz session, so that the session become bit of useful to you, all of you. So let us first try to understand what is information actually. Information is nothing but collection of, organized data. So information gathering, very simple, collecting some useful or organized data. It may be useful to me, it may be useful to my hacker or anybody. So how do we gather this information? Let us try, or let us guess. What is the first tool we use? Very simple, Google. Whenever we want to search anything, like say most happening event of West Bengal now, the election dates. So where I will go to Google. I will type https www.google.com. I will type there and I will get the information from Google server. So that Google server is giving me the answer. So that means I'm typing my request in my browser client, and I'm getting the request from Google server. That is client server architecture. And this whole client server architecture maintains one protocol, that is TCP IP model. That is that whatever we type, that message or information finally got transformed into electrical signal, it reaches server and do a lot of work. Finally, we get our answer, that is response, request response. This is being controlled by TCP IP model. We will not discuss in detail, very brief. The TCP IP model has 4 layers: application layer, transport layer, network layer, and link layer. As I have told you that HTTPS, we can see the protocol in application layer, HTTP, SMTP, POP3. HTTP is basically for web browser, SMTP for mail, email configuration, FTP for file sharing. Now, each layer has defined tasks. The message is converted into a segment in this transport layer, where we basically deal with port information. This layer is very important for information gathering technique, because this port is the ultimate hint for us for this information gathering. Finally, this is converted into packet. It reaches router and reaches the desired network to find out the information. And link layer, very simple, does the task of converting it into signal. Well, I'm telling it very simple, but actually the task is very complex. To understand it, we have discussed very briefly. So this is the very brief what each layer does. So link layer actually includes driver and network interface card that we can see in our laptop. Well, network layer, transport layer, application layer. These are all inbuilt in OS. We cannot see it from outside, like our network interface card. But each layer has got very, very, very defined tasks, and these are the base of this client-server architecture model. As I have told, TCP layer basically handles the port informations. Now, the port may be open and port may be closed. So what are the ports? I'm just discussing very common ports like HTTP. It handles with port 80. But if it is HTTPS, then it is port 443. FTP, port 21. Now, to run one service, we must need that port must be open. So how can we know whether the port is open or not? So we'll send one sync packet. I will send one sync packet to my target, and I'll try to know whether the port is open or not. How? Based on the response I received from that sync packet. I may receive one CNAC or reset. If I receive the response as CNAC, that means the port is open. But if I receive the response as reset, that means port is closed. So see here, in the first case, I have got reset acknowledgement. That means the port is closed. But in the second case, I have got CNAC. So the port is open. So communication is going to be established. This is the very, very, very basic, or you can say the pillar of information gathering techniques. So to collect the information, we use various tools. As I have told Google, of course, but Google will not give me all the technical informations. For technical informations, I need to take care of some technical tools like Waze, which will give me the IP detail, the phone number, email address, ISP detail associated with that particular IP. Then port, of course, if the ports are open, then only we'll be able to know what are the services are open. And if we know the services, then only we can try to get the vulnerability out of that services. And if the services are vulnerable, then only hacker will be successful. So that is the malicious purpose. But we, as a defensive purpose, we must know what are the vulnerability in that service, and we must protect ourselves according to that. Second, we want to find out how far it is, or what route my router is taking to reach that destination. So that one I can get from trace route. And finally, ping, very, very important. Well, there are two types of ping, ICMP ping and TCP ping. ICMP ping may not be present every time because that is the most common way to defend myself. So I have to depend on TCP ping, that is HPing3 tool, and it will tell me about the TTL value. What is the TTL value? That means the number of hops my packet will traverse before it going to be discarded. Based on the TTL value, which is very, very important to understand or fingerprint operating system. Well, it may not be always successful. Like for Windows system, the TTL value is 128. For Linux system, TTL value is 64. But is it always true that if the TTL value is 64, my system is always Windows? No, because there is a technique called camouflage. So if the camouflage is present, I may represent myself as my Linux system as Windows system, or Windows system as Linux system. So I have to find out separately the operating system also. But every time we are not successful. Rather, many times we are unsuccessful to find out the operating system. That means that system is secure enough. Hacker will not be able to do anything with just fingertips. So these are the very, very common techniques of information gathering.
Hello, this is Anurag from STQC side. There's a question from Nagesh Paswan. We will take care of all question and answer at the end of the session. So please,
Well,
what is port and how it is decided?
well, I'm answering this question right now, but after that we'll answer everything at the end of the session. Well, with every service there is associated port. That one we must have some prior knowledge, like 0 to 1024 are registered ports for various service. After that, some private ports are there. I can define my service with another port also, but in general we don't do that. So for registered port, services are defined. Apart from that, we can it's up to the administrator, network administrator, to design the port according to his own choice.
And he's also asking about the TTL. TTL is the time to live value. There is if a packet comes from a source, and if the packets want to reach its destination, it will take some hopping. TTL value is just a number. Either it will be either 60, 120, 256. It will take from source. It just describes the number of hopping from source to destination. That's it, nothing else.
It will go through intermediate routers also. Na? It may not be that I'm always directly connected to another net. So we will gather all this information in demonstration. So let us continue with this PPT, otherwise we will run out of time. So whatever I have told till now, we have given very, very small discussion here like that way, what we do in vulnerability scanning. Of course, the last is very important, manual testing. Tools are not always correct. So for that, we need human skill. For that, we need experience, skill, and based on that, we do manual testing, and we can really find out whether these are really vulnerability or not. Because as we know, tools are not human beings. So they may give us some false positive. So as I have shared all this PDF, so I think these are very easy parts. So if you have any questions regarding these slides, we'll discuss it later. You can send us questions in chat box. So as I have told, if I run a waste tool to get this public resource, information from public resources, expected results, that's what are the information we are expecting: domain name, server name, IP address, ISP information. And there may be a lot of information which may be useful to me, which may not be useful to me. As told, port scanning is the most important part. This is the pillar of information gathering technique. Well, we'll show everything in demonstration purpose, so I'm not taking so much time for this PPT. Yeah, as I have told, port may be open or closed, or another one very important, filtered port.
One question from another participant. In this world, how automation in automation testing, what is the relevance of manual testing? Sir, there is a word called false positive. If machine gives all the 100% result, we should keep ourselves keep apart from the machine, means automation. We just not land our decision on the basis of the just tool gives a report. So we have to test some critical part through manually also, so that we can conclude that the machine, the report comes from the machine or application is 100% correct.
Yeah, actually it gives us the assurance level. Tools are not human beings, right? So it will give us up to some level confidence, but our manual testing, it will give us the full confidence. So see, sir, we are dedicated to this task only. So if we give only the tool result, then what is the meaning of doing manual testing? Why people should come to us? Because we give 100% correct results. That is the strength of STQC, and that's why we do the manual testing. So anyway, let us come to the port scanning part. It is open port, closed port, or filtered port. So based on the flags, as I have told, it may be CNAP if it is open, or reset if it is closed. But some ports will come as filtered also. Why it is called filtered port? Because it is being hidden by another port. So we may not be able to actually actually attack that port. So it is very, very nice configuration, but every time, of course, it's not possible. So basically we are dealing with open port or closed port. Yeah, actually traceroute, as I have told already, traceroute, that how far it's from my organization or my target source network, how far is that destination network, that is being decided by traceroute. Various tools we use like Nmap, HPing3, everything will show in demonstration. It's just very brief idea. And of course, that system fingerprinting, as I have told, from PTL value, we may not get exact value. So we'll do separately system fingerprinting via this Nmap command. This is also very nice command, and Nmap is very, very beautiful tool for us who are dealing with this penetration testing. Yeah, these are the task of ping commands. So yeah, everything I have covered already. So that, as I have told, Linux, the TTL is 64. For Windows, TTL is 128, and Solar is 254. Kali Linux is the very, very nice operating system for this hacking, or rather that information gathering purpose. And from there, Nmap or whatever tool we use, automated tool or whatever, ultimately they call the Nmap only. Yes, these are the tools we have used. We will show demonstration for each of the tool. Of course, we will not show Google. That's each and every one of us use it. But we'll show Wiz, IPT location, HPing3, Nmap, EMAS, Spiderfoot, the inspector, Vershak. Well, for Vershak, I have seen that dedicated session is there, so we'll not spend so much time on Vershak, but rest of the tools we'll cover up. And this is the this is the very brief discussion. We'll now start our demonstration. If you have any question, you can ask us, otherwise we'll start the demonstration. What is the question?
Ma'am, there are some questions on the chat box. So if you kindly check the chat box, you find
Okay. Sir. Sir, for book, actually, sir, there are a lot of books, but actually the real-time data collection is the ultimate book we can see. And we can, various websites are also there, sir, right? OWASP websites are there also. This is very good website to learn everything. Then HackerOne, a lot of websites are there, sir. So it's not any single book or single task. With the various website penetration testing, we have gathered all this information, we have learned, and still now we are learning. So we cannot recommend one single book. So there are a lot of books.
And one question from regarding MAC ID and Relevance. So I will explain the same.
Yeah, it's up to Anurag to hand over the same.
Yes, sir. So the situation is, I believe the question is whether the hacker can hide himself or his identity or his MAC ID by changing his original MAC and imitating some other user. So yes, in the land of hacking, there are tools called spoofing tools where you can spoof the MAC address to resemble someone else, and the target machine or the victim machine, he would be getting some other MAC ID. And these MAC spoofing tools are really, this is a good question. these are used by hackers, and they not only generate one single MAC ID, but they actually generate a range of random MAC IDs to confuse the victim from where the attack is coming from. So yes, there are maps too, and just like a chore police game, you have other protection mechanisms which detect that that the attack is coming from spoofed MAC addresses. So it is a long story. For every way, for every attack, there is another corresponding defense. So yes, this is one level of smartness that is given by hackers. They spoof the MAC address.
And generally we does not follow any book. We just follow only the standard like WASP and some standard ISO standard also. So we will give some book name at the end of the session.
So thank you, Anurag. It was a very nice and comprehensive answer. Thank you so much. So we have, for demonstration purpose, we have taken one very, very common website, that is example.com. And if you Google it, you can see that we do not need any prior prior access or access control right to do all the activity over there. So we have taken that site. So for domain name, we have chosen example.com. This is our domain name, not IP. So to start the testing, we first need one tool which will convert my domain name to IP address. And for that, one wonderful tool is there, that is Nslookup. Nslookup example.com. Yeah. So I have got the IP. It is 93.184.216.34. I will request all the participants to take note of this IP, because we'll use this IP at various stages later, which will be very, very useful information to us. So it is 93.184.216.34. Now I want to find out what are the related information I can get from this IP range. So I'm doing one phase. My screen is visible enough?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
If you could zoom in, it will be better.
Okay. Is it all right?
One more zoom, please, ma'am.
Well, I have reached the maximum limit, sir.
Yeah, that's fine, ma'am. That's fine.
Okay. Well, by doing these ways, I have got a lot of commands. First is the IP range. See, that means these are the IPs assigned to that organization. Now, why this information is important? Because if it is IP, they may have some domain associated with that. Now, if I attack each domain separately, and if there is a single flaw in any domain, and if my attack is successful, actually I'm going to give the bad name to this whole organization. So my hacking purpose is successful. So this is a very, very important information to the hackers, or for us who are defending ourselves from that hacker. You can see the person with whom it is associated. It's Derek Sawyer. It's the address, phone number. Yeah, I'll ask to take a note of this phone number also. This one will also use later to find out many other information. 6. So we got a lot of information. If we want to see some, well, example.com is from another US domain. So if I want to see any domain from our India side also, that also we can do. For that, we can do again, say, well, I'm taking one site from Assam government only. Well, sir, it's just for information purpose. We are not penetrating or not doing anything harm to them.
We are
Works.
just gathering the data which is only available on the internet side. We are not using any professional tools. We are using just only the open source Kali tool, Kali Linux tool only.
So if I do this, that is, I want to find out the address of this. .131. Oh, so here I got a lot of information. Can you see? So this is the IP address. Well, they are actually registered as Assam Electronic Development Corporation. We can get email address also. So this is also important part, because this we can use this email address for spoofing purpose, email spoofing purpose. So it gives us a hint that we have to secure our email server also, so that malicious email doesn't come or spoofing doesn't take place successfully. Well, this is the organization name, Assam Electronic Development Corporation Limited, country India. At this whole Assam address, here we also got some phone numbers, email. Here we got one email also, that is surojit.roy@antron.in. Okay, so now we'll go to well, there is another tool also for gathering the location information. Minimize. Yeah, so this is IP2 location. So if we give IP2 location, this is web-based tool. So here I'm giving, say first I have seen example.com. So it will give me the exact location. So see, we have got one location information from quiz also. Then why we are going to again IP2 location? Because it is going to again give me the same location only. Yeah, because tools are not always correct. So if 2 or 3 tools are giving me the same result, so it may be that yes, it is pointing to the same place, or my information gathering is correct. Let me run another one, that is assam.gov.in. That one is running. We'll show share the result. By that time, we'll run another location and information. Well, see, while I have searched with example.com, it is still running. Anyway, it may take result, take time. And see, for another one, I have run with IP address, and I have got the same address, same location, Assam, Guwahati, Amtron.in domain. ISP is Assam Electronics Development Corporation Limited. So yes, from base and IP to location, I have got the same information. So my information gathering technique is correct, or whatever information I have gathered till now.
From the one tool, the confidence level is getting higher and higher.
Yeah. So next, we have gathered some email ID and one phone number. We'll try to find out whether these are correct or how much information we can get from this phone number. For that, we are using one tool called the inspector. See, well, this tool always not successful. It may give us result, may not give us result. So let us try to find out phone number information. So it is 2. As we have gathered one phone number from example.com. So let us try to find out the phone number. So it is 187, again 733-432-36. We'll wait. And yes. So this phone number is a toll-free number, and this is from United States of America. And of course, valid flag is true, means it's a valid number. So you have got another information from phone number. Now see, why are we gathering this information? It's completely up to the hacker how they can use this information. Next, let us try to find out our one email address. So we'll go to option 12. So it is yes, we are waiting and hoping the best will get some successful as a hacker. Okay, it is showing it is valid email address. So of course I can use it for spoofing purpose if my email server is not configured properly. But of course, sir, please don't do this, because this everything need agreement before doing all those things. So we as a pen test, we never do all those things unless there is a agreement. So it's only for information purpose. So it's a request, please don't do anything malicious to all these sites. Well, each and every one option you can try to find out according to your choice. As we are leaving behind many tools, so I'm going out of this tool. I'm just showing you a demonstration how to use this tool. Now, as I have told you, we gathered a lot of IP address from IP range from that quiz tool. Now we need to find out who are the domain associated with this IP. For that, a wonderful tool is there, AMAS. See, let us do for our Indian site only. Let us secure our India first, then we'll secure rest of the world. So this tool may take some time, so we have to wait a bit of. In between, if you have any questions, we can say leave the question. Sir, services are running at application level. As I have told in TCP layer architecture, application layer deals with HTTP, HTTPS, FTP, SMTP, everything. Now, for each and every services, if there is vulnerability, we have to do required patches for that, and it's up to the network administrator to configure the services properly.
Configuration also.
Yeah, configure also the server properly so that no one can easily hack us. So of course there is nothing called absolute security. So we will try to ourselves secure as much as possible. But see now TLS 1.2 is also vulnerable. So there is nothing called absolute security. So yes, the tool has started showing us the result. So for each IP the range, it has started showing us with each IP what is the domain available in our system. Sorry, not in our system. What is the domain available associated with that IP? So if there are 100 number domains, so hacker will take care of each and everything. And of course, we can transfer it into a text file, and we can slowly we can have a loop. So it's now come to up to the application security level to secure each and every one of this application associated with this domain. So the tool is taking time, so let us wait, or how much time we are left so that we can control see all this. Regarding up to this Nslookup ways, IPT location, and the inspector, if you have any question, then you can ask us in between. Otherwise, we will next do our next demonstration. There are a lot of tools still remaining.
Ma'am, you can go ahead with the next demonstration.
Okay. Well, now, if I want to find out what is the subdomains of that domain, say, well, as I'm doing with this Assam government only, let me continue with this only. For that, again, the AMAS enum is very powerful one. So we try to find out with assam.gov.in what are the subdomains available.
One more question is coming from Mr. Saldesh Gajak. Domain name along with the IP address. How can we hacker use the information for this purpose? So for the hacker, the first work of the hacker is only the information gathering. Information gathering means hacker should just focus on the target. The URL is if we have to identify the target host and their target services and their target ports. So we need to convert their URL into the IP first. IP means if we get the IP, then we can run some tools, automated tools, so that we can identify the which services and which configuration error are there on that server. So if there are some vulnerability on the servers, either configuration part or the services part, after that a hacker will exploit the vulnerability identified based on the IP address and the identified ports
Yeah, that was a very wonderful answer by Anurag. Actually, information gathering is basically the, what you can say, index of preparedness. The more information I gather, more I'll be, I mean, more power I will have to exploit the target. That's all. So it's basically, see, whenever we go outside also, so even if now we go to Darjeeling also, try to find out so many information from it, which hotel is based, which restaurant is near to that hotel, everything we try to find out. So this is for what? For our preparedness. So that is what. Information gathering is basically the preparedness of hacker. The more information they gather, the more they are prepared to do the exploitation. Of course, not always successful. Hacking is not so much easy job also. Okay, so we have got some tools, sorry, some subdomains under this assam.gov.a. So I have stopped this query because it will take some time, and let us continue with our next tool. That is one web-based tool for information gathering, that is Spiderful. Well, before that, I have got one ASN number also. This gives us information regarding ISP, Internet Service Provider. So if I want to know something, this ASN also, that is also possible. ASN, and this is the number we have got. Anyone you can choose. I am choosing Amtron only, as I have seen in the WIS domain. So 58590. Let us see who are the service provider registered in this ASN. So again, why do we need all this information? Well, it is up to the hacker to use this information, and for us to be defensive, let us be secure, and let us see how much we can protect ourselves against this exploitation. So one way it is malicious, another way it is defensive. Well, it will take some time. We'll come back to that result later. Let us run another tool parallelly, and later I will show you this result. Well, it is taking some time. One tool is there, Spiderful. So I'm typing here 10.0.107. For ourselves, the service is running at 50014. We have configured this service in this port. So someone was asking me some questions. So I think you have got your answer that we are running. It is from our configured port. Well, it's new scan. Yeah, I'm writing here. See, it's already given example as example.com. So let me run from here only example, as I am showing demonstration with example.com only. Scan target, say that 02 today 0. Oh, sorry, I just missed something. It's actually here scan target is example.com. I'm really sorry. Example.com, and name is that 0203. So it's just to recognize today's day. Here you can gather a lot of information, some passive. Basically, information gathering is basically passive information gathering, because we are not doing anything harm to anyone. but we are doing all for gathering whatever information we get, because our purpose is defensive. Run scan now. We'll get a lot of information, and it takes some time to run, as this tool takes some time. As this tool takes some time to run, so for your training purpose, we already gathered all those results, and I'm showing you all those results. See, it is finished. As it will take a lot of time, sometimes it may take 3 days also. So we are running out of this time. So see, these are the information you may get. See, country name, credit card number, domain name, domain register, domain base, email address. Then well, see, once that scan is complete, to load the result also, it takes so much time. Well, again, we are switching because it is taking a lot of time. So you are getting all the information here, see, in the, but once it gets loaded, you will feel like, wow, you are loaded with so much information, or if, or the hacker is loaded with so much information. And for us, yes, we are also feeling wow, because we have to defend ourselves against this attack. So we may get some hacker email address also, which may be used for email spoofing purpose. Now that is out of this scope of this demonstration. So we cannot show you how that email spoofing take place from the email address. From here, we may get HTTP headers information also. So whether the security headers are present or not. Security headers means, again, whether we are protected against cross-site scripting attack, or control security policy is implemented or not, like this way, what a phishing attack, a lot of things are there. So we will get all this information from there. What is that? Of course, this is not the ultimate tool for this HTTP header per security headers. Rather, we have to take help of Parksuit also, because tools are not always correct. So we have to cross check with 2 and 3 tools. So well, we are actually running out of time. It is taking time. I will come to this part later. I will. MS is still running, so there are a lot of ISPs. So now let us show the information regarding code scan. So this is the information you have got from your public domain. Now I want to find out what are the services are available associated with this IP. So let me run one wonderful tool, that is Nmap. SS stealth mode is it will do for UDP ports also. -P. Well, Anurag will take care of the rest of the parts. Anurag, should I continue or you will continue?
I'm just taking the demonstration part. You can just elaborate the same. Okay, ma'am?
Okay. Well, as we are running out of time, so he is dedicated to the typing portion and I am dedicated to the speaking portion. This is enough sufficient. Well, -PM, this is very important for tool scanning. -PM, basically, we may not get everything from ping results. So if, what is our natural way of thinking whether the host is alive or not? We just ping the system. If we get the ping response, we feel the system is alive. But real world, we don't allow ICMP ping to protect ourselves. So we do everything with -PM, so that if you do not get the ping result also, then you also have to scan the target. minus T4 is basically aggressive mode, that T2, T3, T4, but we take T minus T4 for aggressive part. Of course, it must have been root privilege, so we have given the sudo command. Otherwise, if you do not apply sudo, then you may wind up with some erroneous result. Now there is another tool called Zen map in Windows, so that you do not need to come to Kali and you can run this command from there also. There also you have to log in as administrator. Otherwise, you may wind up some wrong results. So all this actually the problem with demonstration is that it takes some time. So let us wait for some time and let us wait for the results. We expect from here the ports which are open here, and yeah, so since it is demonstration, so it takes some time. So because of that, we have given everything, all these commands in PPTs also, so that if we are unable to run these commands in a short of time, you can run at your own also. As it is taking time, we are trying to show you some output, some sample output rather from Google. So you'll expect the same result from our side also. So see, this is the site they have taken. There are a lot of ports are open. 21, that is FTP ports are open. SSH telnet, wow. So they have got telnet service also, which is very, very, very unsecure service. Then SMTP, 80 ports, 110 for POP3. Well, so I can see a lot of services are there. Now I can scan each of the service separately, and I try to find out what are the vulnerabilities or if it is at all there. Like in FTP 21 port and 23 telnet port, information travels in clear text. So I may get the username and password. Although they have implemented SSH, but if SSH again, if the protocol is not up to the level, like if they are not using SSH2, they are not secure. So although they are doing SSH, but the protocol is not sufficient to lock themselves properly, they are wind up with vulnerabilities only. So these are the useful information to the hacker. So Anurag, can I go to?
Okay. Now we are switching from the OS part. We
Yeah,
try to find some OS if the and that that version of the OS has some vulnerability, so that hacker may exploit through the CVE number available on the internet.
See, we have got the error because we have not given the root privileges. Again, that same SS, SU, that is for TCP port, SU for UDP ports, minus O is basically for operating system. Well, in Nlookup, there is another option to give, that is minus minus reason, which will actually the teacher of Nmap, which let us know why they have chosen this kind of reason. Well, here you have got the OS. It is Linux OS. So can we run the HP tree so that we can check that TTL value is also 64? So we have got OS, TTL and Linux. So we expect for TTL value for Linux is 64. So now whether really it is Linux or camouflage.
Ma'am, this is Anupam. We are about to reach the end of the session. We may start taking questions also.
Well, Anurag, you take care of the questions and parallelly I am typing the commands also.
Okay, sir. Can we have some questions from any participants?
Any question from any participant, or whether it's really boring or something useful? So again, we are lagging behind the group privileges. Well, here we'll stop. See, at 11th hop, we have got what? SA, scene act flag. At 11th hop, we have got the flag SA. We were running that traceroute command through hping3. So that means from my router, actually it is away, 11 hops away. And see, as I told, TTL value is 64 for Windows system. So, sorry, Linux system. Here it is 51. So yes, it is reaching up to 64. So OS detection is very much success. So definitely the Linux version of them is 3.1.0 to 3.10. Anyway, it is Linux system. So from there, I have got two information actually, whether my OS detection is correct or not. And of course, it is not camouflaged also. And it is 11 hop away from my router. See, it is the gateway of our network. This is 14.239.281 is our public IP address. From there, it is going through internal various route hop. And finally, it is reaching the destination. That is, see, 103.
One question from the Nagesh Paswan ji. Can we enable a closed port from the RMI? Yes, we can do. If the user have the administration privilege, they should enable or disable the port through RMI also.
Well, so is there any other question? Well, can we let us check whether that spider foot output we are able to check or not. So,
Madam, actually we have run out of the time. We have to declare a break because earlier last break also we were not able to give. So we have to give a break also. So
okay.
if possible, ma'am, you can wind up.
Okay. Well, we have some quiz part. Well, we are leaving behind that part.
Ma'am, if there is a quiz also, you can take on the second lecture today, or you can just give me the PDF of that quiz. We'll upload on the website.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
So, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Amrita ma'am and Anurag sir, for this informative session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Well, we'll
Uh,
come to the last session.
Our next session will start from 12 p.m. We'll have a 10 minutes break here. And we'll request all participants to rejoin at 12 p.m. sharp. The next session will be taken by Sri Gaurav Pathak sir team. The topic will be big data concepts and analytics. Host team, please stop recording.